Hello and welcome to DCP SideQuest episode number 156. It is
156.
yes. What is it? Edition. I got a new cat edition. There's a new kitty that showed up on my door.
Nice.
That is a story we need to talk about.
Yeah,
It's very
is this
exciting.
is this a cat that like a found outside kitty or a kitten, or?
This cat straight up showed up in our backyard on Thursday during DCP Live.
Oh, really?
Or it showed up right before DCP Live last week, and it's super cute kitty. He's like, I want some love. I want, this place looks nice. You guys seem nice. Like, I don't smell any other cat inside. Must be nice here. And I was like, well, clearly this cat needs to go back home somewhere. But then after the podcast, it was still there. And I was like, oh, it's been like 4 hours. I think it's not going anywhere. I think it needs some food, So we gave it a little bit of tuna, which I know you're not supposed to give tuna, but, that's all we had.
You're not?
Well, not on a consistent. It's like it doesn't have all the nutrients and it can be salty. So
It's just a bit of a treat.
yeah, it's more of a treat. Yeah. So he just lapped that up aggressively. And then I was like,
Same
I think
energy right here. Love tuna.
We're like, give me that food.
It was like frantic eating.
Yeah, I started sending videos to Watts. I'd be like, this cat showed up. Just showed up. This cute kitty. So then we went and got food and then brought it into the garage to kind of see, Because, you don't know with a cat. Is it going to suddenly whip the claws out and be like,
is it a kitten or like a full grown?
I think it's it's at least a year and a half. It could be maybe 5, but I think it's relatively young.
Teenager.
Yeah, I don't think it's less than a year because he's big enough. He also has his nuts.
Oh.
Yeah, he ain't neutered.
Well, that's fun.
So the nuts have not been chopped. Okay.
Okay.
Well, assuming that our foster period has concluded and we are fully adopting said kitty, then absolutely we'll have the nuts chopped.
It prevents cancers and tumors and stuff later in life to have it done. So.
Well, I didn't know that. Yeah, even more so. Yeah. Incidentally, my mom was telling me
to wait longer than traditional. I guess it allows the dog or cat to kind of that testosterone to kind of fill out the animal and the tendons and ligaments become stronger, so there's less chance of knee problems and hip problems later. But then a year or so in,
my mom was telling me the story about how her dad Tefty, the OG Tefty, stuck his cat into a boot and then nipped the nuts off. And I was like, "Good God!" And she's like, "Yeah, just stick his head in a boot and nip the nuts." I'm like, "I'm not doing that."
You're like, no, no.
Never gonna look at you the
same. She was obviously, laughing, but there's a hint of seriousness.
Yeah, you're like,
I'm like, I get it, you're a farm girl, but I'm not doing that. God no. So, anyways, he's adopted us essentially, and also I'm pretty sure he's a British short hair. So he's not like a mutt, or just a standard alley cat type. I think he's actually a purebred British short hair, in which are not cheap cats, but someone just...
Oh, that's a pretty cat. That's gray.
Yeah, he looks...
Yeah, it's like this gray blue, really...
Yeah, he's the classic gray. He looks like Merlin, only more of our previous cat. But he's got the chunky head, he's got the smush face, chunky head. His shoulders really are broad. He's they were saying that the British short hairs are the bulldogs of cats. And he's kind of like a bulldog. This broad shoulder and he's really lovable, constantly affectionate. But he also doesn't want to sit in a lap. That's one of the breed characteristics.
No,
they're not big on laps, but totally down to be affectionate, and they're okay with just chilling. So
do they like spooning?
I think I'm not sure.
Big spoon.
Then they're not sitting on you. Little spoon, probably. Although if they could do big spoon, that would be nice.
It would be a big cat.
He did jump up on the couch next to Memes last night, and do a little cuddle.
He's like, I want to be near you. I just want to be on you.
Yeah. So like I said, it's still the onboarding process, and we're keeping an eye out. And also, there's no chip. He hasn't been chipped. Still has his nuts. Hasn't been chipped. And
do you think it was a feral cat, or you think it was somebody's pet that got away, or?
I think
we
either,
have a backstory.
Yeah, I think either it said the two scenarios. Either he's been left behind, abandoned, and someone had to move, or they dumped him because they couldn't bring him to whatever location. Because that does happen, which is
happens a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I can't imagine a cute cat like this. He's adorable. Or he was a part of some horrible breeding pit and escaped, blood, tooth, and nail, and got out.
This is the action adventure I want.
Exactly.
That's what we're thinking, because a lot of breeders. There's some nice breeders, but a lot of breeders aren't the best with the animals they're breeding, because it's like we just want you to have babies. We can sell the babies and get money.
Yeah.
So my theory is he broke out looking for a home.
Yeah, he broke out.
I don't want to insult anybody in our audience, but I have found that people who breed cats and dogs are a different breed themselves. They're just a little off, and they're also willing to put up with a level of existence that I would find very unacceptable, like a level of stink in one's house that goes along with breeding animals is.
Well, this cat is very sweet and doesn't seem like it's ever been mistreated or anything like that. It has it's not skittish or anything. It moved right in and was good. It's like, hey, this is welcome to my house. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. Well, I'm here. Sure.
You have a name for it? Yeah.
We've been throwing around Charlie.
And he does look like a Charlie.
He looks like in charge.
Chubby Charlie.
I've been calling him Charles in charge. My father-in-law is like Sir Charles, King Charles, because he's like British.
That's good too. That's good too. Charles is a good name.
And then my mother-in-law likes calling him Pancake, and then the Filipino word I believe for pancake is babinka. So I've been saying Charlie.
That's pretty good.
Charlie babinka.
That is good.
I like babinka. That's pretty good.
So
if my cat was called Babinka, I was just like Babby, Babby,
yeah,
Babby, Booby, Babbity, Babbity, Boobity, Boopity, Boop. Every name except the name.
Yeah. Eventually, I'll post some photos on Twitter. So if you're curious about what he looks like, I will post on Twitter. I'm just, I've been looking around the neighborhood. I want to make sure no one's just desperate to find their beloved kitty, because if that's the case, obviously, we're taking care of them.
Yeah, right before you get too attached, and all of a sudden you see like lost cat sign on a lamppost.
Yeah, I've been checking the online forums and also seeing around the neighborhood. Nothing so far. So, yeah, I think he escaped from an evil breeder to the nail and found our house.
In a very dramatic and
super dramatic,
adventure-oriented way.
Slow-mo.
The rest of the cats as well, because you don't have to worry about them either.
Yeah, he broke in and said, wow, come on.
Maybe it's just like, I've had 2 litters and I don't like them kids. I don't want to be here anymore.
Yeah.
I've had enough of these babies.
Abandoned his kids?
I've had enough of these babies.
Went out for milk and never went back. It's like, I'm going to the store to get a pack of cigarettes and some milk.
I'm getting some catnip. I'll be back.
He had enough of being the dad. He wanted to go back to being a baby. He's like, I'm going to go somewhere that's going to baby me.
He just ghosted his family. He's living it up over at the Tefty household.
Well, he's definitely getting the service, the treatment. He's like I said, he's moved right in. He's hungry.
That's good.
He wants a lot of food. Worried about him getting fat, actually, because full of food he's eating.
We have 2 cats, and one of them's really fat, and the other one's like normal size. But it's like it's hard to regulate the food for one and not the other.
Yeah,
because they're kind of grazers. They're not like dogs where you can just like, modify how much food you put in the bowl to eat it right away.
Yeah, at first I was gonna just the wet food stuff, but he's just so hungry. I'm like, all right, he needs a little free feeding kibble from time to time, but he definitely wants his wet food. He's like,
that's good.
Meow. I'm like, yeah. Meow.
Sir Charles does not eat.
Sir Charles, Sir Charles needs his beef pate.
That's awesome. I'm glad you have like a new addition to the family. That's really fun.
It's amazing because he's so sweet and just he's an amazing love ball.
You should send me a picture and I'll use it as a thumbnail so everybody can see it on the thumbnail of this episode.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, yeah. He's like a classic British short hair.
He is. If you just Google British short hair, like that's what he looks like.
Yeah,
that's him.
Like that's him.
There he
is.
Sir Charles Babinga III.
Sir Charles Babinga III. So yeah, that's what's been going on
tonight.
Really?
Yeah. Got a new friend date. Trying out something new. Monday Night Football.
Oh,
have never been out together. Never on our own. We're gonna check it out. See if there's any chemistry there.
Are you gonna?
We've never been left alone together.
You gonna use protection?
Oh, I don't know if things are gonna get that far, but I've got a 3-beer limit. I gotta drive.
3-beer limit.
Looking forward to that. He works with me in my photography job. He's an implant from Texas.
Wow.
So he's saying, hey, it's hard to make friends out here. I'm like, I'll be your friend. Let's go get some beers. So I'm pretty excited.
Nice.
Always good to make a new friend.
Yeah, absolutely. How many? Yeah, so 3 beers. Are you gonna? Are you really only gonna drink 3 beers, Briar?
Yeah.
Because I know you.
Look.
Yeah.
I have, some might call it, a problem with self-control.
I think you just like the beer,
I love beer. I like drinking beers. It's just fun. I drink lower alcohol content beers because I prefer quantity over quality. But nobody wants to get a DUI, you know what I'm saying?
No, DUI is
that's
not
no
good.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I'm driving, I don't like to drink. I usually take like an Uber or something if I'm going somewhere where I'm going to be drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry.
This place that we're meeting is about a mile away from the house, so I figure 3 beers ought to be safe.
You can just walk there. Yeah, walk back.
I could.
I could. Fill up that ring on the watch.
But my wife said, no more riding the bike to the bar. You look like an alcoholic. I don't like it.
Signs you might be an alcoholic when you got to ride your bike to the bar.
What? I said, what if I'm just like thirsty while I'm out riding and I happen to go past the bar? She's like, nah, you can't go to the bar on your bike anymore.
Would your wife be willing to drop you off and pick you up from your play date?
Yeah.
My wife has not been feeling super good, so she's probably not going to be wanting to do much of anything.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, she's got a little cold or something right now.
Bummer. Maybe she needs some beers.
When she won't be able to look out the window to see you on your bike.
Right. She'll never know.
Yeah, where do you put the bike if you pull up at the bar? Like, there's no bike rack there.
I lock it up. There's like a rail, like a railing.
Like a bike
I just
railing.
lock it to the railing.
Yeah. Someone's like,
the front.
The local lush is here.
Yeah. Oh, Briar's here.
Old license revocation. Briar.
I've never, it's funny. All my life, I've never been the kind of person to go to a bar by myself. But like in the last 6 months, I have been, and I think it's because like there's just been less like activity in general. That's like social activity. So I've been like going to this one bar, and I've made like a number of acquaintances there.
Sure.
It's been fun, but you
Yeah,
gotta be
regulars.
careful. You want to be like the problem with
The guy who
having
shows up
bar
in
is
a bike.
hangout place.
Rolling,
having a bar,
wheeling your
as your
Huffy
primary hangout
inside.
comes with some dangers. Yeah, your Huffy. Be careful of that.
Yeah, I feel like there's an idyllic sense of Europe having all these bars and everyone just like that's the local watering hole and that's what they do. And I look, it's like I don't know if it's a grass is greener on the other side type of thing, but I look at that and I go, man, I really wish that was more American culture. Maybe it is. Maybe there's certain places in America that are just really heavy.
Where the Irish are.
Yeah, it's where the Irish are. Exactly. My folk, my kin. Where?
It is nice. It is nice. Like especially if you're in a village, because a village would normally have like 2 tops.
Do you take sides? Do you guys have like?
It kind of feels like there's sides.
Bar versus
not gonna
bar
lie.
brawls?
I saw you at old hooligans the other day. Mark my words.
Those fuckers
nice.
at Flanagan's are at it again.
You can just walk there, and a lot of like pubs in the day, like you can take your kids and you can get food. You know, it's like a pub can be a place for everyone to go in the village, and not just like it's not going to a bar, right? It's different.
Yeah, that's what I miss something like that, or I desire something like that where we have a local place where people get drinks and hang out.
Yeah,
and not feel
a place with a sense of community as well. Like,
I guess that's what it is.
Kind of from around
there.
Yeah,
that's what it is. Yep.
You see the same people, you kind of meet those people, and I like that.
Yeah, urban sprawl is like the antithesis of that stuff. You know?
Yeah.
So, anyways, that's a weird topic to be going down. What are we talking about today?
I gotta listen for the doorbell because my 4090 is supposed to show up today.
Are you serious?
Oh.
Are you serious, Briar?
He's still laughing.
He ain't denying it.
He's still laughing. He's giggling. I think
I needed it.
You dipped into the trust fund again? You said I wasn't going to touch the trust fund anymore, but you know what? Those 4090s are expensive.
Yeah, expensive. Jesus.
Yeah, what'd you drop on that thing?
A lot.
What are you going to do with the 3090?
The 3090 is going to go into my streaming PC.
Okay.
Like, this was not a rational purchase. I'm not proud of myself here. Like, I just happened to be kind of browsing around. I saw the in stock sign and I impulse bought it. I'll be honest with you. I'm not proud of myself.
It was an impulse buy, and you were
it was an impulse buy.
Excited for its arrival.
You know, there's something wrong with my brain that anytime somebody says you can't get it because it's out of stock everywhere, I'm like, I want it more now. You know?
It's like the cat, you know, like if you can't go in that room, that's all you want is to be in that room.
Yeah. Oh. Exactly like that.
Well, if I can't have access to this, clearly I want access to this. Come on.
Yeah.
Well, that's exciting. I don't mean to shame you or anything for buying a 49.
The problem is I'm not playing any PC games. I don't even know why I bought it. I'm not even playing PC games. The PC games I am playing are on the Steam Deck.
What's the RAM on it? What's the VRAM?
I don't even know. I thought it was 20 gig.
20 gig?
24? It's a lot.
What you could do is load up some AI software and render out large images with your beastly 4090. Because those, legitimately, if you want to render large stuff, like I think it's Stable Diffusion AI, you can actually download the software, get it running on your computer, and start spitting out images on your GPU. And with a GPU like that, you'd be doing some 2K by 2K images pretty fast.
I'll probably just be playing Vampire Savior.
Vampire Savior on a 4090? It's like the Minecraft. Well, I'm just playing Minecraft on it. So is it really coming today?
Yeah, it's really coming today.
Wow. It's exciting. I look forward to a review on your experience.
The game that I'm most excited about, though, is coming to the PlayStation 5. I just saw, I think, SkillUp tweet out that he got an early
God of War
copy of God of War for review.
Yeah, I've seen it all over Twitter. Everyone's been like, confirm. So it looks like they can give their thoughts on Friday, and then the review will be November 3rd. But they can say like just their general impressions of what they played so far on Friday.
That is a lengthy review window. You got to think that there's some confidence that goes along with swinging your balls around like that, right? It's like, that's not saying like, oh, well, we'll give you a day to check out the first level. That's like, you're going to get to like inspect every part of this game.
Yeah, that's confidence. I'm expecting that to be an amazing game.
The first one was amazing.
Exactly.
This looks even better.
Yeah, and that preview that we saw with the story and him having confliction about whether or not people pray to him and what his son's feeling on, I was like, wow, this is going to be an amazing story. Can't wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's going to be on the PS5, right? So it's going to be like, my biggest problem with probably the first one was that it was on the PS4 and it was kind of framey.
Yeah.
Hopefully we don't have that problem. Hopefully this thing's running at 60 FPS and looking good.
You would think, right? So
hope.
Yeah, hope. Here's hoping that it's 60 FPS on the PS5. Good performance, all that stuff. It's got to be because they've, they delayed it and put more time into it. Yeah.
Do you think this game has any shot at a Game of the Year award? Like Elden Ring just feels like the thing's got it locked up. Like what could God of War possibly bring to the table?
I mean, the story is going to be more hard hitting, right?
Yeah,
Sure.
the story could capture people and make people feel really attached to the story. I think it is hard going up against Elden Ring with how massive it is, how much content's there, how
it was just a
solid
phenomenon too. Like inside the gaming industry, everybody was playing it for 3 months.
Yeah, and it's not that it was like technically brilliant, or technically superior than these other games. Just like the strange magic, the alchemy that they were able to arrive at with like the FromSoft formula, but making it open world and having all these elements, because it's not perfect by any means. When I look back at it, there's problems with the playthrough that I had, but like I loved it.
Yeah.
So
there's just so much in that game, and you just kept going. And you're like, there's more to discover. There's more to discover. Especially when you finish Limgrave and you've done all the dungeons and all the stuff, and then you go to a new place, and it's like, do it again.
Whoa.
We have the same amount of stuff.
Oh.
And not every area is that big, but just the fact that there's more and more and more is it's really crazy.
They were able to capture the imagination of discovery in a way that I haven't experienced in a long time. And I was like, it keeps
I don't think
bigger.
I've felt that like that since I played the original Zelda on the NES.
Yeah.
Like when I was like 6 years old.
Exactly. I wanted to harken it back to that. I'm like, this endless feeling.
Like, yeah, it's so surprising because I didn't see it coming. Like I thought, these guys made Dark Souls, which are amazing games, but are pretty like, compact worlds. So I expected it to be like a somewhat open world version of that. No, this is a massive, expansive place, and it just keeps getting bigger. Yeah. And then like, oh wait, there's more underground.
Yeah.
Blew my mind when I saw that. I was like, I'm going underground? There's an underground map? What?
Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, I literally spent like more than 8 hours a day for like a month straight playing that game. I was just completely obsessed with it.
Yeah. Yeah, it left a crater. An emotional crater of video game experiencing.
Right?
It did. Yeah, there's not many games that you stop playing and you're like, I don't want to play video games.
Yeah. Like,
because of this video game.
I'm changed.
But I didn't really like God of War, so if they could make God of War even better, who knows?
Yeah, I don't expect any kind of experience like that from Elden Ring to get out of Ragnarok, but I feel like I'm going to walk away with a really powerful story and have like those emotions kind of just running over from what I play in that game. The combat was always fun, and I liked it from the original, and I'm expecting more of an awesome combat experience and like those the Valkyries, getting to figure out how to fight those. Yeah.
Oh yeah, those Valkyrie battles were fun as hell. They were hard, but they were fun.
Yeah.
The combat in that game was so satisfying too. They so perfectly blended the feel and the animations and the sound and everything to make it like have like weight and impact to it, but also feel fluid and like easy to like get a hold of.
Yeah, when you called back the axe and it snapped into the hand, like you felt like you really like called it back, and it the noise and all that it made. So really good visual feedback. So, yeah,
this combat looks more, I would say it looks better. It looks more like fast paced and more fluid than the previous one. You kind of see him, going in hard and doing fast things, which is going to be great.
Yeah.
That's going to be done. I'm excited for that.
Yeah. Good stuff. What was the horror game that came out?
Scorn.
Did you play it?
So I haven't finished it, but I have been playing it.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's actually a good amount of talk about Scorn because Scorn is a puzzle game.
Okay.
It's not like I think a lot of people, even though the developers, which is a small team, like this is definitely a passion project for them, they definitely have said it's a puzzle game, it's a puzzle game, it's a puzzle game, it's a puzzle game. But people saw it and they assumed that it would be more of like an FPS survival horror kind of game.
Ooh, very different.
But it's a puzzle game, and I wouldn't say it's scary as much as it's like they try to make you uncomfortable and things be weird and creepy. Not so much going for like the fear factor.
What was the 2-dimension game that we played? The psychic game, remember? Where she was in the Medium, yeah. Does it give you those vibes? With puzzles?
Yeah, Medium, I think I've seen a couple people say that it's similar to like Medium vibes, because I think it's because of their inspiration between two different artists.
Okay.
There's H.R. Geiger, who does art that's like human body and machine kind of put together. So that's definitely got that going on. And then there was another one. I don't remember the name of the artist, but there's another one that has some inspiration in this game, and that is the artist that the Medium took inspiration from. So there is a like kind of crossover in that way. But yeah, it's very atmospheric. I would say that it's even more so just like an art piece that's playable.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, if you go into it, definitely expect puzzles, and an experience. There is some combat later on in the game, but honestly, I would prefer if there was not.
Just not
because I
combat?
feel like the combat's not great, and I know that like a lot of the point of combat in these games is that it's not great, so that you feel, like you have to be careful and you have to all that stuff. But yeah, I think atmosphere-wise, the audio design on it, like how creepy and weird it is perfect. So I'm kind of down with just not having combat in a game like that. But yeah, it doesn't hold your hand at all. It doesn't even tell you what to press or like what the buttons are. It's just like, here's the game. There's no talking, no dialogue, no story, there's no discernible story. You get, how Dark Souls, you have like some things that you can read to kind of put the
clues,
the
more
story.
clues.
Yeah. Nothing. Zero.
There's none of that either. Dang. This is another one of those games that's coming out digitally first and then physical later. So I'm definitely gonna buy it, but I'm gonna wait till it comes out physical.
It's on Game Pass, right?
It is on Game Pass. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you got Game Pass, you can go and play it right now. A little spooky Halloween stuff. Would you say it's spooky or horror-ish?
I wouldn't say it's spooky or horror-ish, really. I would say it's just more creepy and unnerving, depending on your personal taste for that stuff.
You don't like Inside Out, people? What's the matter with you?
And there's lots of like. So as far as I know, the story is boobs, babies, penis, birth, death.
Huh.
I mean, tale as old as time.
There's peni everywhere.
Really? A lot of phallic, like
everywhere.
The impression or straight up phallic?
There's some impression and there's some straight up like, oh, they're having sex. Oh, that's a penis. And so,
wow.
Yeah.
In the environment?
Yeah.
Huh. Like the environment.
Did you stream it?
Yeah, I streamed I think I'm about halfway, maybe.
I'm gonna have to watch your stream.
It's also pretty
now that there's penises
short.
Now that there's penises in
it. Yeah, how long? You said you're about halfway through?
It depends. So I've seen anywhere from like 3 to 6 hours.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, short game.
The only thing that really concerned me that I heard about it is that because there's not anything like telling you where to go, it can be a little frustrating because you get lost a lot.
Yeah, like it's not just, I'd say it's not just puzzles of like, here's a puzzle for you to solve, you can press things, move stuff. It's also kind of like the puzzle of the environment and figuring out what to do in different portions of the environment. So you get to one area and you need to solve like this puzzle and then this puzzle and then this puzzle to then open the area to go to the next one. But of course that requires you to find your way around the area. And it has to be purposely designed for you to not really know where you are.
Sure, yeah.
So it's that could definitely be frustrating for people as well.
Interesting. I'm
definitely gonna check this out.
I would definitely check it out. It's a game that I both like and don't like. It's very weird because all
fair.
of like everything like that they've made art-wise and audio-wise and all of that stuff is perfect and I love it. And then there's the other stuff where I'm like, I could go without getting a gun and having to shoot things in this game.
Okay.
Yeah. What do you
Definitely
shoot?
worth checking out. There's some like little aliens. You do have a gun that most things look like a penis.
The gun looks like a penis, and the aliens look like penises.
Most things, yeah, most things.
Hey, did you guys order the Steam Deck dock that went on sale? Finally got released.
Oh, I didn't. I need one of those.
No, I did not.
Oh, okay.
I would be
they
nice.
Finally released
play it
it
on your
it's
TV.
Like, yeah, well, yeah. I mean, you could already do that if you got your own kind of like USB hub kind of thing. But this one is like the official one, and it's like $80, but it comes with a power supply, like a spare power supply, which is handy because I don't know. For me, I like to have one of those power supplies by the couch and one of them up here in the office, so I could, I don't have to like go under the desk and grab the power supply to like, because the thing takes a lot of juice. It wears out of battery pretty fast. So
yeah.
A lot of people were saying it was kind of expensive at $80, but I thought because it came with the power supply, that's a pretty fair place. If you go and look at like third-party docks, they're about anywhere from like $30 to $40, but they don't come with a power supply. And the power supply by itself, if you order one, is about $50. So
okay.
Yeah, usually good docks for like regular computers are in the like the 50 to 80 range already. If it's a good one, it's not like cutting corners and all that. So, and it has like the good specifications for the ports. So,
yeah. And buying the cheap stuff, you never know. Like, is this thing, how well built is this? Is it going to damage my device by using it long term? You really have no idea. Generally, if you stick with first party stuff, it's, the voltages are right. The build quality is right.
Yeah. That's the
I don't know. It seems like a good way to go
on that stuff. Yeah. I'm probably going to grab one of those because I love my Steam
I think they're
Deck.
readily available. I ordered mine. I think I ordered it Saturday or Sunday. I can't remember.
Nice.
And it's getting delivered on like Thursday. They already shipped it.
Yeah. Speaking of, you can buy a Steam Deck now.
You can,
you can just buy one. Yeah,
if it's in your area. There's certain locations around the world where they're not selling them, so that sucks.
Fuck you, Australia.
Get wrecked, Australia. But if you are in one of those locations and been jonesing for one, they're available.
Yeah, that's nice. I think the Steam Deck is a fantastic device. It's gotten better and better, like the longer I've had it. I found more and more uses for it, and like they're improving the software on the device so quickly that like every time I pick it up, it needs an update. At this point, it seems like, but the updates are doing stuff. You can see it. The one problem I have with it is that sometimes I'm playing a game and all of a sudden it loses compatibility with the Steam Deck, and that sucks.
Really? I haven't seen
I've had it happen with 2 games. I had it happen with F1 2022, where I started playing it on Steam Deck and then it stopped working. And I'm almost positive it had like the yellow check mark when I first started playing with it, which means like, it's kind of compatible. Your results may vary. And now it's got no, this doesn't work check mark. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, it is community sourced for those check marks. So maybe more people were like, this bricked or whatever, or like, straight up crashed. And they're saying, actually, it's not compatible. So I
well, it was working, though. It was definitely working at first. I was playing it.
Yeah.
And it stopped working for whatever reason. It might have been something they changed about the game or something they changed about the OS. Who knows?
Yeah. I still haven't done any emulation on it yet. I need to. I've just been enjoying the general experience of the Steam Deck. I haven't done other stuff on it.
Wilson309 showed me a video of a guy who hooked up a Game Boy Advance cartridge reader to it, and you can play Game Boy Advance games.
Nice.
Like right from the cartridge on the Steam Deck, and it's officially supported by the company that made the reader, too.
That's cool.
Is that's really cool. I've got to try that for tomorrow because we're recording Retro Slot tomorrow, and I want to talk about it.
Very cool.
Yeah. I mean, it's a computer, so you can do all sorts of shit with it, right?
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
It's really fun.
Yeah, I was going to load up some digital audio workstation on there. Bitwig, actually, and I haven't yet. I need to. Oh, no, actually, I downloaded Bitwig, and I tried out the trial on there, and everything worked. And I was like, this is cool. And I was like, I'm back to playing games on it.
You know what I realized?
What's that?
We can talk about the first Descendant officially on here.
That's right. We
haven't been able
talked about it on DCP Live.
We did.
Yeah. So you gonna play it, Watts?
So this is the thing, right? The beta's coming up on the 20th, which is a few days. And I almost want to play it because I want people to come and chat and tell me what they think about it. And if I'm playing the first Descendant, maybe they're more likely to do that.
True. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If it's the same thing of what we played with Mylan, then
I'm sure it's the same build, I would assume.
Yeah. Bit of a yikes.
But did you see it? So I saw a bunch of impressions going out on the old internet. And
what's the impression?
Paul Tassi said, I played for 20 minutes and then turned it off because of how jank it is.
That's a lot more than what we did. Or I mean, that's less than what we did.
I was like, 20 minutes.
My brain is fried.
It seemed like the only person who enjoyed it really was Rick Cactus.
Did Fallout enjoy it?
I haven't seen anything
from Fallout. He put out a video, and he said he had like.
Did he put out a video?
I read I didn't watch the video. I should have watched the video, but he said that he had like some good feelings for it or something like that.
Really?
Yeah, I think.
Because I looked on his channel and I was like, I don't see any First Descendant stuff.
Put it out this morning.
If you get this wrong, I think it could be slander.
Oh, slander for Fallout. We're gonna create a podcast beef.
I don't see anything on his channel from the First Descendant.
No,
I see nothing.
I saw it on Twitter. He posted it. Maybe he yanked it. No, Fallout ain't yanking it. So Cactus enjoyed it.
Oh wait, okay, no, okay, I do see it. It's named. I got my ass whooped and liked it.
It's okay. He baited you. Classic bait. All right.
He did. Yeah, you can usually tell by the comments of what people said in their video. So like you look at Mylan's comments, for example, and it's like, thank you for your honest thoughts on this. Thanks. Like even if people are saying I'm looking forward to it, they're still like, thank you for your honest critique kind of thing. If it's people in the comments just being like, this looks sick, then there probably wasn't a lot of critical feedback in the video.
Yeah, so speaking of critical feedback, I mean, there's a lot of things going on that don't seem like they're quite adding up in the game, and a major design overhaul would be required to get it closer towards what we already expect from games like Destiny, Warframe. Like there's some established titles out there right now that I would think are kind of juggernauts if you're trying to approach that space. And I didn't get the impression that First Descendant was trying to legitimately take that on. It felt more of like we have this element over here, but really it's going to be a free-to-play stat investment type of game where, end game is just incremental little bumps of stuff that make you slightly powerful or slightly better than what you had because you're not really powerful against on-level enemies. I mean, that was such a surprise. Like we were playing on-level against some sort of boss and could hardly do anything to it. I mean, I think we got it like halfway down, but it was like, what are you supposed to do?
It feels very off. Yeah, the scaling for that felt really off. Because you'd think, oh, I hit level 15. Nice. I can go do the level 15 boss. Let's go. But it's more like I hit level 20. I could go through the level 15 boss.
It's exactly. Yeah. In fact, we were like, we couldn't do, we had to do like 15 levels under for it to feel like, we can farm this boss.
Yeah, like what point is it farmable? Exactly. Which I assume is what you want to do.
Yeah.
It's rough. So the thing that always confuses me about people making live service looter shooters is that they don't want to or seem to want to learn from what other games have done in the past. Because like Warframe and Destiny have both been out for many, 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 many years. And I feel like it would be a very good idea to just be like, okay, what was in this game initially? What did they take out? What did they change? Why did they change it? And try and learn from that. But like the First Descendant, everyone can agree that the leveling process, like the initial going through the campaign leveling process, is not great from what we've seen. It's just stand here, kill enemy, move to next point, stand here,
go to node, spawn enemies,
do
the thing, go to next node, spawn more enemies. Like the main thing though, when you play Destiny, you could do some random task, like patrols or the first mission or something or whatever, and you'll feel immediate feedback and weight of how the guns feel and how your abilities feel. It's like not just guns, but abilities. And that was not present in First Descendant. And then when we got into the end game, nothing changed on that either.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And I was saying that some people might get into this beta and be like, yo, this is actually pretty decent, because initially I was like, it's, some feels a little jank here and there and like not super impactful and weighty with the guns and the abilities, but it's free to play. I'd be down to like, level a character. But
that's
then
how we were feeling when we were
That's
going
how
through
we
it.
were feeling. Yeah, initially like I'm down to give it a try.
I could see leveling a character in this. Then we got to the end game and it was like, oh.
Yeah, we got to the end game, which I'm very glad that they showed us. I got to the end game, I was like, this is what the end game is. My character looks the same, my abilities are the same, the guns feel exactly the same as like the first auto rifle you get will feel the exact same as the last auto rifle you get.
Yeah. Instead of damage 100 per second, it's like 11,000 per second.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
Anthem kind of had that problem too.
Yeah. But their abilities felt like you did something.
Oh, yeah.
I would go into this game expecting that basically what the game is you're just trying to get your numbers higher, right? You're trying to get your defense up by 2%. You're farming for that super rare rune that's going to give you 2% more defense. Like, that's what you're doing. And you're farming for a gun with like 1 point of extra damage. You're not farming for armor, because there's no armor in the game to get. Your character looks the way it looks. I didn't currently see a way to farm for a new skin or anything. It's just it looks the way they do. The guns aren't super exciting. Your abilities aren't going to get better. You're not going to unlock something that makes like your ability do something different or do something better. So
and the abilities didn't really do much to a boss. Like the best abilities
they didn't do much to the little dudes in the boss arena.
Yeah, the little dudes.
I went up and slashed him half of his health. I'm like, what? That's my ability on a little guy.
That ability's on cooldown now?
I can't spam this ability, you sure?
Yeah. I definitely what did we play, like 4 hours? Something like that?
Something like that. Yeah.
I definitely walked away thinking there needs to be a major revamp before I really even consider playing this game.
Yeah, it's very similar to the mobile games that you'll play where you do your daily dungeon and you try and get your drop to make your character a percentage better, and like that's what you play for.
Yeah.
That kind of that loop does not appeal to me at all. Like you got to start with the fun gameplay, and then you can add the looter stuff on top of that. But if you don't have the fun, like shoot it in the head and it feels good gameplay, then it's kind of a non-starter for me.
Yeah.
Anthem had that, to be honest, for me. I know it didn't have that for everybody, but I really liked the chaining abilities combo thing.
That was fun.
And I thought the flying around was super fun, although I didn't like that, you could only fly for like 30 seconds. But like that was really fun. What failed that game was the rest of the shit around it was terrible.
Yeah. It just goes to show you that these are very difficult and
Very
complex projects to actually make successful. Right? You look at Outriders. Outriders is significantly better experience than First Descendant from what we played.
I would say so. Yeah.
But even in comparison to Outriders to Destiny has so much more feedback and like visceral experience than what you get when you do abilities in Outriders. So I don't know.
Yeah, you don't need to come out being the best, but I do really think that in this day and age, when you've had games that have been out for 8 years, that in Destiny 1, one of the things that people really didn't like is the mission structure, where you put your ghost to hack something and you stand there and protect the ghost. That is every mission in the First Descendant that we played.
Yeah.
So like that's what I was saying. It's just a very simple thing of like everyone said this was terrible in Destiny 1. And Bungie worked to change that mission structure because it was not good. And they were like, let's do that mission structure.
Yeah.
So I'm like, at a certain point, there's people who have so many looter shooters have come and gone, and you can look at what they did good and what they did bad. You can look at all these games that have been successful and what did they do? What did they change? And you could learn so much from that. But I just didn't experience any of that learning with the first Descendant.
Yeah. And if they do make changes to it, like I would definitely be down to see major revamps if they do some, because it's a good looking game. Like it's not amazing, but like it's, you could tell there's some good flair in there. But man, it feels like they need a major revamp of how like the core mechanics of the game feel before a broad like spectrum of people are actually going to be interested in playing it. Like if they're looking at capturing Destiny players, long ways to go.
Yeah, unless those Destiny players really like mobile games and they're like, okay, this is kind of like my mobile game that I really enjoy.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, if it was just on the phone, I might load it up then. Check in from time to time.
I cannot stress enough how much it sucks to have a third-person game and none of the loot you get changes the way your character looks.
Yeah,
that's dumb.
Yeah,
I just feel like in a looter shooter, and I can see my character. If I could see my character getting stronger, looking more epic, like that is such a positive emotion when you're playing these looter shooter games. That's what you're trying to give the player, right? Those endorphins of like, ooh, I got a new jacket. I put that on. Wow, I look so cool. But you start the game looking exactly the same as when you are max level, best runes, best weapons, best
until
everything.
They start selling skins.
Until they sell skins, yeah, which I assume is where the money, a lot of it will come from. I'm sure a lot of people will pay to skip the 8-hour waiting time to get a new character because they want to just have the new character, and I'm sure people will pay for skins, which is I don't mind paying for skins in like League of Legends, but when your game is a loot-driven game, that's where it becomes a bit more problematic. We've had this decision. Yeah, we've had this discussion with Destiny, right? Like they walk a line of luckily in Destiny. Imagine Destiny. You're playing Destiny. There is no way to make your character look different except the Eververse store.
Right.
First Descendant.
That's unless they could change that, I guess.
A couple of them have fallen into that trap now. Godfall fell into that trap. Anthem fell into that trap. It's the same thing. You had to buy skins to change the look of your. No, wait. You could do colors though, right? You could do colors.
You couldn't
change the shape of your.
They had a whole like weekly shop to get like the custom cool looking outfits and all that. Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't Avengers fall into that too? You can change what your character looked like. You could change like the rib cage of the Hulk, but you couldn't change.
It wouldn't
his
change.
Shorts.
I feel like we've said it a lot. I feel like we've said gamers have said a lot that if you're making a looter game, I want to see my character grow as I loot.
Yeah, you can see why they had to do it for Avengers, right? Because it was, they're dealing with Disney and copyrights there. But I mean, if you're making a looter, you got to be able to change the appearance of your character. Like, didn't you ever play Diablo?
It is a strange choice, and like they could maybe they'll change and go like, okay, we're gonna make some skins available for you to earn in game, and others will be in the store. But I don't know if they'll do that.
The thing is, I could overlook the cosmetic side of things if the core gameplay was exciting and thrilling, but because I have no desire to actually grind what they already have there, I wouldn't be interested in getting any of the cosmetic stuff, whether I had to pay for it or grind for it. Because
it sounds like it's in a tough spot.
We walked away feeling pretty rough about it, and I was like, "Oh, this has got a long haul to be somewhat successful." But there could be some people out there that really do just want a stat grind, and if you are looking for a stat grind, then this could be heaven for you. Stat grind with a mouse, keyboard, or a controller could be perfect for you.
It could be, yeah. Like, because I will say, if you are wanting to get into the first Descendant, I'm not kidding when I say that the rarest mods are going to be like slightly better recoil, reload faster, like 1% more damage. I'm not kidding. Like that, those are mods that are in the footage that you guys can see. So if that sounds like your thing, you're like, that actually sounds pretty exciting. I love to see numbers go up. Then you might really like the game.
Oh, also those boss fights, on first look of those bosses, they looked really cool. And I was impressed with like the scope and scale of like seeing a giant boss materialize, and then we were fighting him in some sort of like holodeck room that never changed. But you know, those things could change. They could make new boss rooms, and obviously new bosses could come. So
there's definitely there's some things there's a lot that they could change everything if they really wanted to. But I think the foundation here is just, for me personally, definitely not something that's gonna get me excited. Especially when there was a lot of times where I was like, I don't even truly know why I'm taking damage.
I think Briar got his 4090.
For audio listeners, Briar is creeping into the camera with a big smile on his face.
I was just fucking around. I didn't get it. The fire alarm was going off. The smoke alarm was going off. I had to
go. From your new 4090 smoking?
Yeah, your new 4090's been installed.
Your wallet's on fire.
Yeah, so First Descendant.
First Descendant. It's unfortunate. I think, I think it's going to sound maybe even more pessimistic, but I feel like the game is wanting to look really, really pretty to get people interested in playing it. And you'll see the bosses, they look great. Characters look cool. Environments look good, although they are very dead, and you do see that quite quickly.
Yeah.
And get people a little bit and get them into the game via that. But then maybe they stick around just for a little bit, and then they're like, oh, this is not really what I expected. And then they end up falling off.
Yeah. Like I said, when we were first playing in the beginning and going through leveling up a character, which we did have a 10 times boost to level up our stuff.
We had a lot more XP.
Yeah. I was like, okay, I could see myself leveling up a character. So you could level up a character, then get to the end and be like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah. So Fortune says dead like Dark Souls dead. So the environments, there is absolutely nothing, maybe like one enemy in the area unless you are doing a mission. There is nothing. There's no wildlife. There's no enemies. There's nothing.
Yeah. It's like, think of in Destiny patrols, you feel like there's activities going on, like a public event goes off or a high value target shows up or just some enemies spawn in. You don't really see that. You have to go and trigger scripts, essentially, like go to this node and trigger the mission thing that then spawns in enemies. And some of their spawn animations were like, suddenly I'm here. It was like, that's weird. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But those could be fixed. Those
things could be fixed. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was talking about this on stream when I was talking about the game, and I was like, oh, they could fix that, they could fix that. And I'm like, I mean, ultimately, they could fix everything. But fundamentally, shooting the guns feels fine. Abilities feel kind of lacking.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the thing that they would have to take quite a while to fix that. And then also, if they wanted to make endgame grinding more exciting, they'd have to make the weapons look more interesting, and they'd have to make runes that change your abilities, which is another quite big investment.
Yeah, I don't think I saw any kind of like exotic type of like unique perks that were a part of the weapons for the end game, right?
No, it's just like crit percent is higher or ice attack.
Yeah, there's no suddenly spawning fireballs out of nothing because you shot them in the face 3 times or something like that. Like,
no,
I don't think. I mean, but again, maybe like because it's the first beta, none of that cool stuff is in there. I think Mylan would have been told though that it was missing really cool stuff.
True. Yeah, like we don't have these things in there, but Mylan was told like we've given you an end game character that has all the best stuff. That's what he was told specifically. Wow. So that is the best guns, the best rune, the best everything. So that's what kind of killed my excitement. I'm not gonna lie, that's what kind of killed anything for me, is seeing like I can't see myself grinding those bosses that fight the exact same in the exact same room to get a chance of a 1% increase to my defense. Like I just can't.
I am telling you, if we had maxed out characters, that end game was not fun. I mean,
you also don't feel powerful as an end game character.
Like I said, we had to be like 20 levels under to feel like you were just kind of doing a strike. You know?
Yeah, and I feel like and we're not just talking about a character that's max level. We're talking about a character that has like the best guns and the best rune setup. And we took time setting up our runes for crit damage, which is the only possible build you can do for those bosses. And still, nope.
Yeah. It's a yikes.
That's what I'm saying. It's like there's so many fundamental things and small things that need to be adjusted.
Yeah.
And that's what makes me go, I don't know if the foundation is good enough.
Yeah. Well, first Descendant. Don't mean to be a downer on it. If you're excited about it, definitely play it and you can see for yourself. But
absolutely. Yeah. Trying if you can get into the beta they're having, absolutely give it a try. If you're interested in it and it comes out, looter shooters are your thing. Like it's free. Give it a go.
But
Just
especially
don't invest anything into it.
Yeah, especially if you're into stat grinds. If you do like that aspect, like getting a 1% increase is something to make your character a little bit stronger, then you might legitimately like that. So
yeah, you might legit like them.
Or play a better game.
It's most similar to Warframe. And I think Warframe is probably in a spot where they are
Warframe is massive now.
It might be better to jump into Warframe.
If you're not already in Warframe, yeah, because you can basically just feel like a god in Warframe. That end game is completely different from First Descendant. First Descendant, you feel like you're squishy. Yeah.
Hey, so did you guys watch the last episode of that Lord of the Rings show on Amazon?
Oh yeah, I did.
Are you caught up on the Dance of Dragons? The
House of Dragon? No.
I'm one episode behind.
Man, I watched the last 2 episodes of the Amazon show and the last 2 episodes that have aired of the Game of the Thrones show. And man, the difference between those shows and the writing and like the excitement that I get, out of that show is so different. I was like riveted for the penultimate episode of Game of Thrones, the new Game of Thrones show. Yeah. And I've thought that has been kind of a slow burn, especially because they're covering such like a long period of time. And, it's been a lot. Everybody's been talking about like how they've changed the actors for the characters. And that's been weird. Mm-hmm. But man, what an exciting second to last episode. Like really exciting. Yeah. But the last episode of the Lord of the Rings show, I was like,
yeah.
I gotta wait a whole other season for this. Man, that show is so pretty. The $750 million I spent on the Amazon show, it's so pretty, and the set design is so good, and the outfits are so beautiful, and the special effects are so good. But I just don't feel like they got anything to say in that show.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like I like the fantasy world of that show better. I like the Lord of the Rings environment and like the potential stories that they could tell better. I agree that the writing is definitely nowhere near as strong or nowhere near as strong as it could be. But at the same time, I don't know. There's something about, like I said, something about that fantasy world that I just want to experience more of it, even if the writing falls flat.
It's definitely pretty. It's like you could have the show on as a screensaver. It's so beautiful. Like every shot is gorgeous.
Yeah, gorgeous show. Yeah.
I mean, there's no hiding the money they spent on this show. It is unbelievable, and it's right there on the screen.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of feels like it was a season that was like the Hobbit Part 1.
Yeah.
Hey, let's set up all this stuff.
It's also based off a book that even like Lord of the Rings fans say, it's kind of hard to get through this one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly. Like Lord of the Rings is at times an extremely dense and slodging experience because of how verbose and like how detailed that he went into and all that stuff. So it can kind of drag in certain places because there's so much detail and so much history behind it.
Yeah.
I need to catch up on House of Dragon though. I haven't yet.
Yeah, the second to last episode of House of Dragon was, woo, this looks good. And like, there's still another episode of this. Where are they going to go with this?
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward. I'm only one behind, one episode.
Yeah.
Going into the new HBO series, the new Dance of Dragons, I was kind of like, do I really want to watch more of this? Like, it was left such a bad taste in my mouth from the last series.
Yeah.
Which I was also super hyped about at the beginning, and then.
So I'm 3 episodes behind because I decided to just stack them because
I don't blame you.
I don't like. I get it It's a bunch of politics and like dragons. There's dragons and there's politics and there's incest and there's people who are mad about people in power who are going to kill each other eventually. I'm like, it's so laid out that I'm like, okay, well, it's downer vibes, but you know, it should be fun downer vibes, but there's downer vibes.
It doesn't get any like happier. Like, that's not what Game of Thrones is about.
Exactly.
There's no like hobbits dancing in the forest in Game of Thrones.
Yeah. I'm like,
but man,
I've heard that similar thing of like, you know, Game of Thrones was people battling for the throne. House of the Dragon is people battling for the throne. And it was like a lot of people, well, not a lot of people, but I've heard people say it feels very samey, and they're like, you're not really giving me anything different.
But no White Walkers. There's no zombies coming.
Yeah, that's true.
There's a prophecy about the White Walkers. It's making everyone go lose their goddamn mind.
I think there's a problem with TV right now in general that like they need to make series like out of ideas that maybe a movie should have been made here. You know what I mean? So like stuff feels like a little long-winded and a little drawn out a lot of the time.
I have a friend in the industry, runs a very successful post-production house, and he says that like Netflix wants series. They're less interested in movies because they technically have more retention over a series,
that makes sense.
So if they can have something that could have been a 2-hour movie become a 8-hour show, technically they have more longer viewer time and more retention and more subscriptions that they sell. So
yeah, that makes a lot of sense, but I don't think it necessarily makes for the best content that you could have had.
It is interesting.
There's a lot of this in documentaries too, right? It's like you get like these 3-part, 4-part documentaries now.
You do, yeah.
Like,
when usually it would be like it's a new documentary. You're like, oh, it's so documentary was normally documentary meant it's one. It's like one thing, a long
this subject
if it was
Ken
Burns, you had a good 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah. Some of them would be really long, but now it's like, oh wow, this is like a 5-part documentary series where all of them are at least an hour. Like wow.
Yeah.
I don't complain about that, but yeah, it does seem like
sometimes. Like I feel like sometimes there's like an entire episode where they just rehash the last episode.
Right.
That's called filler, my friend.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying.
Filler
episode. But seems like there's so much.
Back to Lord of the Rings though, because I feel like if you're a diehard fan, I think you'd appreciate them waffling and taking their time on stuff that they're setting up in there, because like. For me, if I really like an environment or a subject, I'm okay with them kind of dragging things on a bit because I get to experience that world even more. But if I'm waiting for a battle, I'm like, come on, do something, poking the stick. I'm like, let's make the orcs do something. Come on, fight someone. You know, like I
do get bored when like when I'm watching something and I don't feel like anything is moving forward. When it's just like here's hobbits walking through a swamp because. You know, the last episode was them walking through the forest. We gotta show how they're still moving. I mean, we got an hour to fill here, and there's got to be 8 episodes. You know, like I don't know. I get bored. Watching that kind of thing. So even if it is a pretty swamp, you know.
I guess that's what I'm saying. It's perspective on there. Like, are you? It's fair to be the person that wants the big points fast. I get that.
Yeah.
For me, like I liked wallowing in the details, you know, wallowing in the character development and seeing what happens with the like this history that's happening before the rings.
To your point too, is like you have to form a connection to characters if there's to be any emotional attachment to them.
Totally.
You know, like the Red Wedding wouldn't have been nearly as impactful if you hadn't spent 4 or 5 seasons with all those characters.
Just lead
and, like,
with the Red Wedding.
Good things for them. You know, like you couldn't do the Red Wedding in the first season, but you can kill Edward Stark. Edward?
Oh my God.
Eddard. My wife. I just heard my wife yell, Eddard.
You blew it out of my mind by saying Eddard Stark. It's Sean Bean. Just call him Sean Bean. He dies.
Sean Bean dies again.
Last episode of first season.
You know, I do miss the original actors in House of Dragon, though. I really like them.
The young ones?
I really liked them. I don't know what it was. It's just maybe just an extra. Like the new ones they're great actors. They're doing a fantastic job. It's just something about the younger ones. It's a little special sauce. I don't know.
Yeah. I think it's because you've seen the show before. You're like, I've seen this before. People are gonna die.
Well,
yeah, I mean, you definitely know what to expect.
Yeah, I mean, they're telling a story from a book that's completely finished. So technically, you could know exactly what's going to happen. And even if you don't, know anything about the book, well, for the first little bit, it was finished. The rest of it wasn't finished. Yeah, but like you could even tell what's going to happen based on if you've watched Game of Thrones, where you're like, oh, Daenerys is like one of the last Targaryens, and there's no dragons except her dragons. And then you see, how many dragons are there? There's like 20 goddamn dragons.
Yeah, clearly there's going to be a dragon massacre.
50 billion Targaryens.
Yeah.
Like, clearly there's some
Dragon Wars, though. Come on, that's going to be fun.
Dragon Wars is probably going to be fun. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
I guess part of what made the original Game of Thrones so great was that it was so shocking that they would just kill off characters like no problem. Like,
true.
You're following a character for 4 seasons and then.
Yep.
Well, in my opinion, it was like, okay, this medieval setup, but then there's also these zombie White Walkers. It's like, okay, there's that storyline. Yeah. Wow. And it's like, oh, and there's dragons, but they've been extinct, but there's now going to be dragons because she just hatched them. And she also can be in fire. And so clearly there's some sorcery and witchcraft going on somewhere in this world. And then with House of Dragon, I feel like that's been pruned down to like, you already know some of these things. There's a ton of dragons. And we're going to have more of that. There's going to be some conniving people again who are trying to backstab again to try to get the throne. Done very well acting. Very well.
Yeah.
Shot beautifully. Acted extremely well.
Yeah, they're all great.
Yeah.
All really good.
Yeah, I was pretty impressed by this latest episode. I'm looking forward to the final episode.
I'm excited to see. Yeah, I have definitely been excited to watch each episode. Especially as we've kept going, where it's like, especially after episode, what was it, 7? I'm like, can't wait to see where they end up now. Yeah.
Cool.
Is that the one with the kid fight?
Well, that was no spoilers.
No spoilers. There's kids.
They fight.
Would you guess that maybe the kids dislike each other based on their parents pitting them against each other for the throne? Who knows? Who would know?
Maybe that could create some hostility.
Yeah. Maybe a little bit of hostility.
They didn't have a bully-free
foreshadowing
zone back
then. Well, I'm excited to power through them. It's gonna be a back-to-back experience.
I feel like it definitely heats up. Like
it does for sure.
I was not like loving it in the first few episodes. Like it was a little slow for me, but it definitely now I'm pretty riveted.
All right, well, it's very popular. People definitely are watching it. I hope Lord of the Rings stays popular because I'm nervous that the Amazon heads are going to be like, well, it wasn't as popular and we're just going to cut this. I want Bezos to be like, no, it's my baby. I love this franchise. Keep making it, even if it's
like, I'll pay for it myself.
Yeah, exactly. Boy, I will foot the bill.
$750 million is a lot of dough.
That's like $1 to that man.
Oh, true. I think he was the reason that Expanse got brought on because he was a fan of the show and was like, I want more Expanse. Make the show.
Imagine having that much money. I want that much money to just be like, I'll pay for the show. It's fine.
Supernatural's coming back. Season 18. We're going to do a Curse of Oak Island crossover episode.
Yeah, I'm hoping that the people at Amazon are like, yeah, we have to keep making Lord of the Rings because Bezos wants it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyways.
We need to get Bezos to play Destiny.
What's he? Would you be okay with Bezos buying Destiny?
Not buying it. I want him to pay for a series to be made.
Oh, if Bezos funded a Destiny show? Oh, man.
That's acceptable.
You're going to have to step up the budget, though. Get something respectable, like
Bill.
A cool billion. Let's get a nice even billion.
Round out a bill on that.
Destiny was the most expensive game ever made at the time, right? 500 million.
It was expensive, yeah.
So now you got to follow that up with the most expensive TV show ever.
Oh man! All right, that's the episode. 156, the side quest. Thanks for tuning in and listening to us bitch and moan about First Descendant TV shows. We appreciate all the support. Also. If you're listening and you get some weird ads, it could be because your location we do not have control over the particular ads that show up in your location. So we do apologize about that.
Yeah, just know if you see any bigoted motherfuckers talking to you that I hate them just as much as you do.
Yeah, we're not hand selecting any of that. Like that's in your area and being served on the ad network. So
yeah.
But
unfortunately, people do political ads and a lot of them are terrible.
Yeah.
So yeah, please do know that if you get anything like that that is clearly supporting something that you guys know we are most certainly not in favor of. We did not pick that. We do not control that. It's just that's the ads that get played.
Yep. But on that note, if you're a Patreon member, thanks for supporting the show. You do get ad-free on the Patreon. And also shout out to our Twitch subs as well for supporting the show live. And thanks for watching. We'll see you for DCP Live on Thursday. Briar's got retro slot tomorrow, right?
That's it. We'll be doing Jackie Chan's Action Kung Fu.
Ooh, awesome.
Fun. And we gotta pick a spooky game for Halloween too.
Ooh, nice.
A retro spooky game.
Yeah.
Go
any ideas?
Ghosts and Ghouls or whatever, or from NES. Ghouls and Ghosts.
There was that one Sega Genesis game. I don't know if it's really spooky, but it was really fun where you would follow this family around and you'd haunt their house and you'd haunt objects to try and get them so scared that they'd move out.
Oh, I don't know this.
That was really fun. I'll try and find the name of it. I loved that game.
Man, that sounds awesome.
Sounds awesome.
It was really fun. Yeah, it was
spooky times.
I want to play it again.
All right. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you next week.
Right.
Bye, guys.
Call your mother.
Bye.